Hey everyone, have you ever wondered what true kindness looks like? In a world that often feels divided and harsh, kindness can be the light that transforms lives. Today, we're diving into 5 of the most powerful parables from the Bible that teach us about kindness. Lessons that are still just as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. Stick around because the last one might surprise you. Let's start with one of the most famous stories, the Good Samaritan. A man is beaten, robbed, and left for dead. A priest walks by, does nothing. A Levite, another religious leader, walks by, still nothing. But then a Samaritan, an immigrant who was supposed to be an enemy, stops, tends to his wounds, and even pays for his care. The lesson? True kindness sees no race, no background, no social status, just a fellow human in need. Are we willing to be good Samaritans today? Next up, the prodigal son. A rebellious young man demands his inheritance, wastes it all, and ends up starving. With nowhere else to go, he returns home expecting his father's anger. But instead of scolding him, the father runs to him, hugs him, and throws a feast to celebrate his return. Can you imagine that kind of kindness? The kind that forgives freely without hesitation. It reminds us that no matter how far we stray, God's kindness is always waiting for us, and if we've been forgiven, shouldn't we extend that same kindness to others? This one is a tough one. A servant owes a king a massive debt, one he could never pay back. The king forgives it, but that same servant turns around and demands a much smaller debt from another man, refusing to forgive. When the king finds out, let's just say he's not happy. The lesson: if we've received kindness, whether from God or others, we should pass it on, holding on to grudges, while expecting forgiveness ourselves. That's not how kindness works. In Matthew 25, Jesus tells a powerful parable. He describes a final judgment where people are separated like sheep and goats. The sheep, those who fed the hungry, clothed the poor, and visited the sick, are welcomed into God's kingdom. The goats, those who ignored the needs of others, are cast away. Remember, this parable teaches us that every act of kindness matters. When we help others, we're actually serving God Himself. Last but not least, here's a mind-blowing one. A landowner hires workers at different times of the day, some early in the morning, some right before sunset. At the end of the day, he pays them all the same wage. The early workers are upset. That's not fair, they say, but the landowner replies, "Didn't I give you what I promised? Can't I be generous if I want to?" Kindness isn't about fairness, it's about generosity. Sometimes we get caught up in what we think we deserve, but true kindness is about giving, not measuring. So what can we learn from these parables? Kindness is forgiving, it's generous, it doesn't discriminate, and it sees value in every person. The world needs more of it, and guess what? It starts with us. Whether it's helping a stranger, forgiving someone who hurt us, or simply choosing to be generous, we have the power to spread kindness every single day. If this message inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And tell me in the comments, which of these parables spoke to you the most? I'd love to hear your thoughts.